Hi, I'm Andy Mangum. I am the regional minister for the Christian Church in the Southwest, though I'm doing this video on my own time just to show a little bit about how I'm using AI, generative AI technology in ministry. I will say, and I'll try to make a longer video about this, I have some reservations about using generative AI. I'm worried about the way in which white privilege is built into the systemic structure of the large language models that AI is drawing from. I am worried about the larger carbon footprint that AI technologies leave. The energy consumption is much higher than on a general Google search. I'm very worried about plagiarism. Would never encourage a minister to use AI to write a sermon. And I'm worried about the ways in which the ways in which we're using AI to meet real needs for human interaction in much the same way that social media has. So again, may make a longer video about that, but just want to put those caveats out there and so that you're not under the impression that I am 100% endorsing this for any and every possible usage. But with that, I do think it's useful for some things, and I am persuaded by the adage, whether it's true or not, we can debate, but I am persuaded by the adage that in the future, your job's not going to be done by AI. In the future, your job is going to be done by someone using AI. So with that, let me just talk a little bit about this. This is one application, and maybe you can use it to see if there are some other ways that you would want to use AI. One of the things I'm going to suggest is that you use OneNote. I would say something like OneNote, but I don't know anything else like OneNote. OneNote keeps your notes organized in both notebooks and sections and notes, so it functions a lot like a notebook. I find it to be invaluable in organizing my thoughts, and so as you're beginning to work with AI, the construction of what we call prompts is going to be such that you're really going to want to keep up with those and edit them, modify them, but have a place that you're not constantly having to retype everything. So this is a script I wrote. I did not use AI to write the script. I am trying to promote a workshop that we're going to be doing in a couple of, next month, as of the recording of this video, on how to think theologically about salvation. And so I've written a script, and so now I want to use an AI platform to help me with that. You'll see I've put it here in a OneNote note. I'm just going to highlight that. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask my preferred AI platform to proofread that for me. I will point out that there is a built-in AI platform in the Microsoft Office system that's called Copilot. What most people know readily is ChatGPT, and you can go directly to the OpenAI website and have your own ChatGPT account and use that. There's also Google's Gemini. There's one by Anthropology called Claude AI. And I've used them and like them. I have found perplexity through my tech support person, my brother, who knows a whole lot more about this than I do. But he's turned me on to perplexity, and they tend to be more accurate when you ask a query. What I like about it most is that when you ask it for a report or a thought about a particular question, it will rigidly footnote its answers, and so you can go through and look at where it got the information. So with that, we're just going to go over here to perplexity. I'm going to ask it to proofread for spelling and grammar, and you can hear my dog there. And then it's going to take a little bit of time to proofread that, but it's given me that same copy. I hadn't changed anything other than it has made changes for spelling and grammar. Now that I have that, then I tend to copy it this way as opposed to using that little copy tool, just because I do. Then I can replace that with the text that it has given me. So now I want to maybe do some things with it. And so This is where we get into the construction of a prompt, and why I want to suggest that you have a notebook or someplace where you're keeping up with the prompts, and something that I think is going to be helpful is to be able to do that in a notebook form so that you can find these very quickly. So this is my regional ministry video prompt. And it says, writing as an expert in the Christian Church Disciples of Christ regional ministry, please help me improve whatever the type of writing is, whether it's a blog or an event announcement or an email blast, or in this case, a video script, meant to encourage the audience. So who's your audience? For me, I'm going to be clear, it's going to be for ministers, elders, and congregational leaders in the Christian church, and I'm encouraging them to participate. So this is my action item, to participate in the workshop entitled Thinking Theologically About Salvation. And then I tell it some things to focus on. So grammar, punctuation, vocabulary enhancement, sentence structure, in this case, designed for orality or designed for oral delivery, and which is a little different writing style than is just writing a blog announcement. And then, telling it to focus on clarity and conciseness. So now that I've done that, I've actually filled in those blanks. So then I can add to that the text that I've been working on, and go over here and add that to the text itself. And so now that I've done that, I can, and actually because of it's still in there, I probably can just use the prompt. That's just what I'll do. The script is already still up here in Perplexity, so now I can ask it. I say, writing as an expert in the Christian Church Disciples of Christ regional ministry, please help me improve this script for a video with just me as the singular speaker, meant to encourage ministers, elders, and congregational leaders to participate in the 6-hour workshop entitled Thinking Theologically About Salvation. Please focus on grammar and punctuation checks, vocabulary enhancements, sentence structure designed for oral delivery, and clarity and conciseness improvement. Let's see what happens. All right. So it's given me a better script. It says, you've likely seen the viral meme about the Seven Sister denomination. It paints a stark picture. Since our peak of 2 million members in the 1950s, we disciples have dwindled to just under 300,000. That's an 80% decline. But let's pause and ask ourselves, is this decline the real problem or merely a symptom? So it's again, that's basically what I said. That's the same language I used. It has made things a little bit more concise. It has put in these subject headings. So historical context. Lyman Stone, a respected demographer, offers some intriguing insights. So I don't typically use adjectives. It has added that for me. Throughout the U.S. history, church attendance has ebbed and flowed dramatically. That's different language than what I used. After the Revolutionary War, it surged, only to dip before the Civil War. At the dawn of the 20th century, less than half the population attended church. Yet by 1980, we hit the record of 70% attendance. So it has taken away what I think is the startling statistic, which is that 17% of Americans on the eve of the Revolutionary War were not in church, or 17%, the only 17% church attendance or church membership at that point. So I'll likely add that back. But here's what's truly different today. So again, a little bit better concise language there. Faith itself. For centuries, regardless of church attendance, 95 to 100% of Americans professed belief in God. I don't think I used the word profess, so that's a helpful word. Now that bedrock of belief is eroding rapidly. That is not the metaphor that I used. Churches that don't address this fundamental shift, this crisis of trust in God, are missing the point entirely. So the language I used there was a bit plagiarized. I said we are continuing our adventure in missing the point, and adventures in missing the point is suggestive of that. For 7 years, I have posed 2 crucial questions to disciples in the Southwest. Who is the Jesus people encounter through your church? And that typically is the question is, tell me about the Jesus people encounter when they encounter your church? And what does it look like? What does following him look like in practice? That's not the way I ask either of those questions, which is an important thing to say. Right? You don't have to live with what it gives you. You can ask it, you can change it differently. So these are queries for us. Our forebears had ready answers. Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. We profess him Lord and Savior of the world. And they even had a plan of salvation, a simple 5-finger exercise. Again, much more concise. I'm not advocating that we return to these exact formulas, but we must relearn how to articulate faith, why faith in Jesus is transformative, and how to live within his fellowship. The writer of 1 Peter challenges us, always be prepared to give an answer for the hope you have. But here's the rub. We need to rediscover. It truncated that text, and so I'm going to probably go back and put it back in because I think it's important to say and do this with gentleness and respect. But here's the rub. We need to rediscover that answer for ourselves. That's a good way to say that. When I ask about your churches, you bubble over with joy, gratitude, and yes, sometimes a few gripes. But when I probe deeper, why does church matter? How does faith make a difference? I'm often met with silence. The silence is our starting point. Wonderful language, right? It's a time to articulate our own theology, our own understanding of salvation in our own words. This is why I'm thrilled to invite you to the upcoming workshop, Thinking Theologically About Salvation, on February 15th, 2025. We'll gather for 6 transformative hours in Arlington, Tyler, and Abilene. While I'll be presenting from Arlington, streaming to all locations, the real magic happens when we come together to share and to learn from one another. They'll also be able to take this online. So there's some language that I need to clear up there that I will before I present this. Our goal, by day's end, each of us will craft a 1-page description of our personal theology of salvation. This isn't just an academic exercise. It's the foundation for our October follow-up on evangelism. But before we can share our faith externally, we need to internally clarify. We need internal clarity. So all that to say, they've given me a better script than the one I had created. So now I'm going to go back here to where I've got the script going, and I'm going to go ahead and add it in, and that way I can refer back to the original script and add back in what I want to add in. Again, you're not bound to it. Once it gives you an answer, you don't have to live with it. You can change what they give you and put it out there. In another video, when I talk about how to use AI without plagiarism, that's exactly what I'm going to say, is don't copy, cut, and paste and use what you receive from generative AI. Rewrite it in your own words, or if you do copy, cut, and paste, do a lot of editing in your own words. But AI is very helpful in just polishing our language, maybe cutting through some of the thinking out loud that we tend to do, and helping us be more concise and more accurate with our language. So I hope that helps. If it does, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff that you are supposed to do for videos.